Hi everyone, today I am sharing a fun way to use your Altenew Woodless Watercolor Pencils and your stencils. Stay tuned! Hey everyone, Tania here to share an art journal page, a mixed media art journal page using Altenew's Woodless Watercolor Pencils and some stencils. So today I am using the Castle Motifs stencil, and I love this design because it doesn't go all the way to the edge of uh, the stencil, if that kind of makes sense. So if you wanted to do like a repeat pattern, it's easy to do that with a stencil that is complete. So it'll make more sense as I go along. So today what I'm going to be doing is I am doing a technique called Frotage, or basically taking a rubbing of the stencil using the Woodless Watercolor Pencils. Now I'm holding the watercolor pencils at an angle so that they are as flat against the surface of my page as possible, so that I'm not getting any harsh lines and I am only picking up the edges of the design. And as you can see, I went in with a lighter hand first of all, and as more of the design appears and as my pencil flattens out to the shape of the paper as well, I am pressing my pencil down harder and harder to pick up more of the design. You'll need to move your pencil in different directions so that you pick up the design as easily as possible. Maybe you did this as a child yourself, or you did it with your kids in school, basically taking a rubbing of anything textured like brick or even tree bark. I absolutely love doing this with stencils. I think it's a fun and unique way to use your stencils and make more use of them and get different effects. Now what I'm doing is I have I have twisted around my stencil, and then I am making sure that I held it up in the light, and I'm making sure that it slightly overlaps where that design is, so that it comes across as a seamless pattern. I love doing this with designs like this where my stencil isn't big enough to cover my entire page. And here is a look at the finished result. And before I move on to my next step, what I'm doing is I am lightly, very lightly misting my page with a very fine mist of water. You could do it with some glimmer from some of the iridescent spray as well from Altenew. And I'm also adding some black splatters with the jet black spray. Now, I must point out that normally I suggest using thick cardstock or Altenew's watercolor cardstock for mixed media layouts because of buckling. But if you're doing a rubbing or frottage technique like this, I would suggest using a slightly lighter cardstock. And I was making sure that I wasn't using too much liquid so that my paper didn't buckle too much. And because I was going to glue it down into my art journal afterwards, I wasn't really bothered that much about it buckling too much because I can just flatten it out later. Now I'm taking the biggest die cut from the Just Leaves die set, and I am sticking it down with some clear matte drawing glue onto one side of my art journal page. And what I've done is I have made sure that the leaves went off the edge a little bit, and I cut off the excess with a trimmer. And then using my Misty stamping tool, I am stamping down a sentiment from the Crafty Life stamp set. And once I stamped it down, I realized that some of the splatters were underneath where the sentiment was, and it didn't look very clear. So here I'm showing you how I corrected my mistake by using a white gel pen. Now, once that was done, I wanted to add some line work, some highlights with my white gel pen because I felt like the black die cuts were a bit too stark against that very light background. So I went in and added some lines over the leaves. Nothing very fancy, just some straight, simple lines. I found this like a very mindful thing to do as well, and I personally find it very relaxing to do this. Now, I was gonna call the art journal page done, but I still felt like it needed something else. So I die cut some hearts using the Magnolia Heart Die Set and the Love Letters die set. And both of the Magnolia Heart is the largest heart that you see there. And the Love Letters has a very nice variety of hearts that you could use in all sorts of projects. And I have die cut some book text out. Um, and I am again sticking those down with some clear matte drying glue. I'm using gel medium here. Gel medium is normally my glue of choice, but any glue that dries clear and matte will do. And to press the hearts down to make sure that they made good contact with the surface, I used a clean kitchen towel. Now, I wanted to add a little bit more shading and depth to the hearts. I almost colored them in with red, as you can see that tiny little red to the side, red heart, orange heart to the side, but I didn't like how that looked. So in the end, I chose the same woodless watercolor pencils in the same colors that I use in the background on the hearts themselves to add some depth and shading around the edges. And I'm using the new the artist watercolor brushes to smooth out and blend out that color. And I absolutely love how easily they and smoothly that they blend out with just very little water. And I have gone in with the brush pen from the fine liner set and added an additional outline around the hearts just to emphasize them a bit more. And I am also going around the hearts and adding in some more shading with another color using the same color that you use in the background, and also adding some more scribbly lines around the hearts and around the leaves. Now, this is entirely personal whether you want to do this or not, but I feel that it helps the any elements that you've added to your mixed media backgrounds. I think it helps them to blend in with the background a little bit more. It makes it feel like it all sort of is cohesive. Now, I did add a little bit journaling on the top left corner, but I didn't like how it looked. So I simply went in with the retractable retractable eraser and rubbed it out. This eraser has I have it by my side all the time. I'm using it in my sketches to correct mistakes and in my planners as well. Now I am sticking down my art journal page in my very inexpensive scrapbook album and with the repositionable glue tape, and it didn't line up correctly, so I was very easily able to lift it up and put it down in the correct position and then press it, and once it's pressed down it dries permanent. And here is a very quick look at the pages, the rest of the pages in my art journal page. I have absolutely loved putting together this art journal, uh, my art journal, over the last year. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the design team. And here is a closer look at the finished art journal. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you give this technique a go. Let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks, take care, and bye.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!